Hi, this is Bobby Curnow, Chief Turtle Editor at IDW Publishing, and you are going to have a shell of a good time inside the pull bag.
Welcome to The Pull Bags, Back Issue Classics. Join us as we talk about comics from yesteryear, from DC, Marvel, and more. So open your ears to hear our discussion of the older continuities, as the Back Issue Classics are also what's in the Pull Bag.
Hello and welcome to the Pull Bag. This is Back Issue Classics, episode 49. I am one of your hosts, TPB Mike, and joining me is Joe Reed. Hello.
Hello, sir.
How are you?
Ecstatic.
Yes, we will talk about that much later in this episode.
There's a glitch in the Matrix.
It must be. Somebody must have taken one of those red pills or something. Who knows? Because holy crap, I didn't even notice. Like you're the one that messaged me on Facebook. Like, is that? I'm like, where? So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But we are here. It is time to talk more TMNT. The last TMNT episode we did was 51 and 52, which, according to Bobby Curnow, is a two-part story there. 53 and 54, also a two-part story. So issue 53, the cover is Mikey hanging out with the Mutanimals.
That's a great cover. There's just, with the exception of Hob, who always looks cranky, it's a moment we don't get to see from the Turtles in this series a lot, where they're just chilling. Everything's fine. They're enjoying television together. But it's kind of nice to see this homey little moment.
Is it just me, or is Sally missing from the thing completely?
She's what do you call it? She's their pet. She's not one of the Mutanimals. They just keep her in the corner.
Oh, stop. Come on now. She's more mute. No, you're thinking of Pigeon Pete. Pigeon Pete's the pet. They keep him in the corner. Come on now.
He cooks. How else are they going to eat? I made a pie.
I made a cake. You guys totally made me a cake. So we got Mikey, Sally, Slash, Pete, Mutagen Man, Seymour, Lindsay even, and Mondo, along with Herman's Eyes in the first panel here. And basically this is Mikey not really joining, but hanging out with the Mutanimals.
I would wager to say that he has, or his intention is to join them. Mikey at this point's coming off of not being down with his family, starting to run the Foot Clan, ran off on his own and joins up with the Mutanimals here. You know, if I don't exactly know or remember how this turns out, but I would almost assume that Mikey would have stayed with these guys, or would stay with these guys if that really worked out.
It would have worked out if Hob wasn't around.
Yeah,
it would have been fun.
Yeah. I mean, he's got too many friends there. He gets along with Slash. He gets along with Seymour. I'm sure he even
with Mondo.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that would have been a really good group for him to be a part of.
Yeah.
Heck, if the Mutanimals get another mini-series, having Mike tag along might be kind of a neat way to mess with Mike, give him some Mikey time.
That would be interesting. I don't know how that would work though, because of what happens in these two issues.
Oh wait, Sally's the cat.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Lindsay the human. Lindsay's their pet. No, Sally's a full member. I totally.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. Wait a second, what are you talking about?
No, she's cool. Cool.
But she's not on the cover though. I don't see her. I see Hob. Yeah, I see Hob. I see Pete. I see obviously Mikey, Herman, and Mondo, and then Slash, and then Seymour. But Sally's the cat. Duh.
Well, she's only in the background of that miniseries. I totally didn't get to know her.
Yeah. So we get all this fun stuff here with the Mutanimals, and I really do like this. I love seeing this. Before I go too far, I should say that it is still Michael Dalnas on art, with Rhonda Pattison on colors as always, and letters are done by Sean Lee. I just kind of love how Michael really makes the Mutanimals stand out more than they have, especially like Slash and Pete. If you look at that very first panel,
Yeah.
their teeth, and I know that's something stupid to point out, but I mean just the way that he styles, and then the close up on Pete, it's like, "Hi, I'm Pete." But I do really love the art style here for this issue. I think it's really, really cool. It's something we haven't seen, which is a good thing. And that's one thing this series has always done. With each new arc, with each new story. I mean, yeah, they've had main artists and stuff, and I know you've said a lot of times you want to see Dan Duncan return from the very first arc, and maybe he will in the future. But because this is a different shift of a story, this essentially has nothing to do with the Turtles, nothing to do with the Foot Clan, nothing to do with anything that's really going on. This is Mikey's story, which is kind of, when we interviewed Bobby that second time, and I asked him that question about, okay, so we've had Raph, Leo, and even Donnie go through a whole bunch of emotional turmoil. Is Mikey just immune and all that? He said, "Oh no, Mikey's gonna get his," and I'm like, "Oh great, just don't kill him."
I think they're done killing turtles for at least 50 issues.
Let's don't say that. You give them ideas. So Hob comes in, and Hob basically just ruins the party. Quite literally. I still got my head, and so do you, which means we're both doing better than some other folk we know. Hey. Just
cold.
Yeah. It's just the way Hob is.
Cold.
So, go ahead.
I was going to say cold-blooded from a old TV show. Ignore me, anyway.
So Hob wants some alone time with Mikey to discuss stuff with him, I guess. And did you catch the Chef Boyardee joke?
No, I'm reading for it.
Yo, Chef Boy Birdie, hit the road. We need some privacy. And Pete, worst cook ever. He's never gonna win a Food Network channel star thing, whatever.
That's kind of like Mikey from the TV series. He's the cook, but I don't think I've ever really seen him make anything that the Turtles actually wanted to eat. There was the Pizza Face episode where he trashed the pizza, and then I'm remembering just from the first episode, the algae and worms. I made a cake out of algae and worms. No thanks, Mike.
So we have Hob and Mikey going back and forth and back and forth. And Mikey just doesn't want to talk to Hob. I mean, he just doesn't,
Yeah, they've got history.
Well, yeah, but the whole thing is, Hob is like, the whole thing is pretty much, you might be here with us, but you're not joining us, blah, 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 and, so he would rather just be with his friends than talk to Hob.
Yeah, do you think Hob might just know that he's up to no good and Mikey's too much of a goody two-shoes for him to be able to manipulate? Like, Hob can manipulate everybody, on that team. I mean, with the exception of maybe Slash, who has a conscience.
Yeah.
Ray Fillet, Man Ray, whatever they call him in this version, seems to sympathize a little bit. Certainly Herman likes taking orders, but Pete, Mondo, all the others, he can manipulate into compliance. But Mikey is beyond that. As simple as Mikey is, he's beyond corruption.
Yeah, and that's what's gonna, eventually when we finish the talking about this issue and the next one, 54, that's essentially what's gonna happen. Is it's gonna realize that it's gonna come down to everybody needs to make a choice, and some are more than willing to follow Hob, and some aren't. So we get to Casey, of all people. He's just hanging out on a rooftop.
Talking to Detective Lewis, is that who this is?
Detective Kara Lewis, yep. And because he's wanting info on Hun, wants to be able to find him, etc., etc. And then, yo, who's Kara? And does April know you're up here talking to her on the phone? Oh, hey, Raph.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. Exactly. I mean, Casey's got Band-Aid on his face. He's got his mask up, and you know, I really wish the trench coat and fedoras would come back. People, come on, artists, come on, give me one trench coat and fedora shot. I'll be happy for the rest of the series run. So Casey and Raph have a discussion, which again is really interesting because they're all talking about alliances and allegiances and who's where, and you know, Raph's like, you know, because Casey's like, nope, cops don't got a line on him. Well, don't sweat it. Thugs like him can't stay out of trouble only for so long.
Huh.
You know, it's in their DNA or something. Yeah, says the guy whose old man's trying to turn a bunch of ninja killers into saints. You got a point there. I ain't gonna lie.
And I think we're really seeing Casey on this downward spiral too of wanting to hunt his dad, wanting to clean the streets up, and just getting a little overdone with it, taking it too far a degree.
His anger issues are really starting to come out, which is interesting for Casey. I mean, we all know that Casey always has had anger issues in this series, but this is the first time as the 53, 54, and 55 come along. Well, 55 is kind of a 53 and 54. These two issues here, it's showing you Casey's going to somebody's going to go to the dark side at some point. You know what I mean? It's like, we've already had Leo go evil. We've already had, you know, other things happen. So Casey's had a lot of character development throughout the series, but this is just that next evolution of it, I guess. So we then go back to the Mutanimals, and apparently Pigeon Pete is the king of checkers. Oh, boy. I love what Man Ray says. Our scientist friend hypothesizes that it's an anomaly in his mutated brain structure. Did I say anomaly? I meant annoying. So Hob comes in and says they all have a mission. And they all go back to...
Hob all loaded down with guns.
Mm-hmm. They're all going to go stop some bad guys. We then have April and her mom with a conversation. Which, again, it's nice building the characterization of these people. Because when most people, I would say most general readers that go into a comic shop that's not us, that are not diehard, they're assuming these issues are just going to be turtles fighting, you know, whoever, whatever, Krang, Shredder, even though he's dead, you know, all this stuff. But what it's really doing here is, at this point in the series, I mean, we're 5 years into the series now. Oh
wow.
My God, it's going on for 5 years. We're 5 years into the series now, and at this point, at just north of the issue 50 mark, I see now what they're kind of doing with Casey and April. Remember when we did that interview with Bobby and I was pretty much like, yeah, Casey and April, the mini-series. Yeah, he's like, yeah, but it's going to play out. So that's, with Casey and April, it's starting to really kind of play out, because I believe in issue 54, when we get to that, he mentions the Rat King or something or other.
Yeah, something that happened to the two of them there.
Yep. April's mom and April's conversation. essentially turns to relationship advice, which is interesting. We go back to the Mutanimals with Mikey and Hob, and they're getting ready to go liberate some weapons.
Get them off the street, finger quotes.
Yeah. Yeah, really. And Mikey's like, man, this is so great doing the right thing for a change. Speaking of doing, get to it, Mondo. Get into it. Oh, man, I love Mondo. Look at that art on that panel. Invisible chameleon Mondo, because he's a gecko, etc. But he essentially goes chameleon. And the guys are like, you hearing that? Yeah. Roller skates or something? Please. I love that. I just love that. So the Mutanimals break in.
The art on Ray right there is amazing.
Yeah, it is. The whole, the all right, Mutanimals, let's take them down. Yeah, that is just great. So they all barge in. Mr. Lupo, you gotta be freaking kidding me. More stinking mutants butting in where they don't belong. This is the second time Lupo's gang has been trounced by either the Turtles in the Foot or the Mutanimals since issue 51 happened when we first met Lupo with the what are they called, the jammers or the street phantoms. That's what it is. I was thinking of Star Jammers from X-Men for some odd reason. So we have this really, really awesome fight. Look at that art. Oh, look at that splash page with them firing on them. Oh, so good.
Yeah, this art grew on me. I don't think it struck me until I think the issue before this was like it's really finding its stride. And oh man, there's a panel of Hob here with the black background and the backlighting on the side. That's gorgeous.
Yeah, it is. It's just so
sinister.
Good. Oh yeah. Well, Hob has always been pretty sinister. I mean, there's nothing. Yeah. Yeah, nice work, Mutanimals. So Hob's gonna take care of it, and everybody's gonna go home without question. Yeah. Come on, guys. I know you kind of trust Hob, but come on. Come on, seriously?
Yeah, nope. I was gonna say, did Mikey stay and watch? Because that's something Mikey would have done. He wouldn't trust Hob, but nope, he's back celebrating with the Mutanimals.
Yeah, he's in the van. And then we meet some little special agent dude, Special Agent Winter. So there's something going on. And why is it in the panel where he says where his comlink says leave the street wars to the police? Looks like it's the Punisher up against the moon.
Yeah, he does look a little Punisher-esque.
Yep. So the Street Phantom dudes go back to what's his name?
He looks like the big detective from Chew.
Yeah, he does, kind of. Wow, you read Chew?
Oh yeah, I read it for a while and then kind of fell off and said, yeah, I'll just do the trades. And then the value on the books shot up and I was like, dang! They're trying to get into a TV show?
That still hasn't come to light.
No, it hasn't.
Nope. So, this dude, who I don't remember his name, and I don't see his name being said here, so let's see.
Get new villains filling Shredder's shoes.
Oh, Mr. Dunn, that's what it is. It's right there in the buildings. Yeah, it's Mr. Dunn. Okay, so Mr. Dunn here is all pissed and everything else. He's like, get me the inventor. And I'm thinking, wait, who is he talking about? Is he going to go kidnap Harold or something?
Huh.
I don't know. I don't know what inventor he's talking
Unless it's
about.
capital T, capital I, and it's a new villain. But yeah,
Yeah,
good
I
thinking.
don't know. Um,
Hey, how does Mutagen Man eat?
yeah,
Through
I don't
a
know.
tube, probably.
Uh,
Yeah, he's excited to see the pizza, the celebration pizza.
yeah, at least I don't see any bugs on this pizza.
Lindsay says Slash.
Oh no, wait. Slash, yeah, that's true.
Slash would eat it.
Well, yeah, but so Hob comes back, and Mikey and Slash have a conversation about him, and Slash is essentially whatever he's doing or whatever he does, I'm sure it's in our best interest. Old Hob can be crude, but he's a good guy, just like us now, Mikey. Mikey's not too sure.
That's a gorgeous panel.
What of
But
Mikey?
yeah, skeptical Mikey. You know what makes that
Yeah.
panel? It's Rhonda's colors.
Oh yeah.
Ah,
Yep.
can't wait to talk to
So
her.
good.
I hope we talk to her.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still waiting on word about that.
Good.
So Mikey excuses himself and basically he basically Dick Tracy's Hob pretty much. He's like the kid from Dick Tracy. He hops in the back of the car. And Mondo actually sees this and doesn't do anything. But I don't see how Mondo could see it. Like from where they are. Oh, I see. No, I'm looking at the panel where the truck is. The windows to the right of the truck. Okay,
Okay.
so yeah, that okay. That's gonna work. That'll okay. So Mikey trails Hob to wherever he's going, and
Find a warehouse
we
full of guns, full of
full of
boxes.
weapons, and another amazing close up on Mikey. Oh, and again, like you said, Rhonda's colors and the shading. Oh my God, the shading is so great on it. It's like, oh no. And all I can think of when I see this giant room of weapons is from Beverly Hills Cop. Jesus, Billy, we really gotta talk.
Man, I haven't seen that since I was a child. So long ago that it doesn't even count that I've seen it. I'll have to do that. But Mikey shows up at this warehouse where this full of guns and says, "Our best interest's my foot." And who's behind him? Bud Hun.
Dun
Dun, dun,
dun
dun.
dun. Yep, that's not good. What I love about this issue is it's still a family book. Doesn't matter if it's the Turtles family or the Mutanimals family. It's still a family story. It's still a family book because you have two separate family entities here. Whether it's the Mutanimals and Hob, or whether it's the Turtles and Mikey and whatever else. But oh man, and yeah, what are your overall thoughts here?
Like a lot of these books that aren't these stories, it's way better on a second time through. It seems like I should read this in the parking lot after I buy my comics, and then read it again before the record, and like really get to see how much more tasty it is that second time. And that doesn't. I never read a comic twice. Very, very rarely.
See, because I do the show, most of it, well, pretty much all the time, but I have to read, like, I'll do what you're saying.
Uh-huh.
The day it comes out, I'll read the issues, and I'll be satisfied with, reading the story. But in order to refresh myself, because there are times in the pull bag where we won't, when's the last time we did
Yeah.
one of these? January, so it's almost a month and a half, 2 months ago. So, I still need to go back and refresh my memory because I'm so old and my memory is so shot these days. You know, so I mean that's just one of the ways that I can come
Uh-huh.
up with and just kind of refresh my memory. And even though most of the time we end up going through the issue anyway, it doesn't really matter because I still want to read it to notice things that I can point out to you that maybe you missed or whatever else. So issue 53 is part one of a two-part story with Mikey and the Mutanimals. Issue 54 is that second part, and the regular cover is a giant purple dragon.
That's beautiful.
With Mikey trying to fight it.
I think it's supposed to be Hun's tattoo that's on his back.
Yep.
And that is just exquisitely drawn, and somebody should get that tattooed on their back.
I'm trying to see here. I can't make out that signature.
Michael Dialinus.
It was Dialinus.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm cheating and looking at the inside cover.
Yeah, so am I.
And I hope I'm saying that name right. I think I went to Google and had it pronounced for me phonetically. But
so issue 54 has 4 covers on it. It has the regular cover, it has the retail incentive cover, the subscription cover, and the Eastman Fun Club edition.
Is that that's not the fan club? Is that the fan club? It is, isn't it? I thought that was issue 55 he was selling.
It's 54 and 55, I think.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is now a Kevin Eastman fan club you can join. I believe it's $30 for 6 months, $50 for the year. I believe those prices are right. You have access to Kevin Eastman's store where you can buy original art. There's a lot of, once you sign up to it, there's sections of the website that have photos from his personal collection, high-res files to look at. But one of the things that you can also do from there are order very, very, very limited printing covers of the comics. So, you pay your $30, your $50, and then for $8 to $15, depending, I think even he'll do them signed.
Signed. When I saw the signed cover, it was 35 signed, 15 unsigned.
Yeah, and these are low print run, like 500 issues.
Or less, yeah.
And so, the ones that are signed, the ones that aren't. So it's 500. That's a way low number, which hurts my soul because I'm not a catch all the covers guy. But when you say,
don't lie. Yes, you are.
Oh no, I'm not. I don't. Like on this particular, I got the one. I want the main cover. I don't want the sub cover. I don't want the retailer incentive cover unless it's by an artist that I know or of an image that I like. But I don't. There's a guy at the comic store that I go to who he's told the comic store guy to order 10 of the books just so he can get the one retailer incentive, and he's giving him the money that it costs him to order those other books just so that he can buy the retailer incentive cover. I don't do that, but when you say something like limited print run of 500, that's where I get a little kind of like, I want that a lot, but I really can't. That's more money than I would like to be able to spend. But Eastman's coming to a local convention in October, and I'm gonna try to get a sketch commissioned beforehand, and that'll make me feel better about not ordering this Fun Club cover, which shows the 3 turtles that are with the Foot Clan still. And Splinter in the front.
Yeah. The other covers, the interesting thing about these subscription cover is your standard Kevin cover. I don't mean to say that by cutting the guy under the rug. He is the co-creator of the Turtles, but I mean, it's your standard Kevin Eastman style cover. The coolest thing about the covers with this issue is the regular cover, like we've already said, with the purple dragon and Mikey, and then the retail incentive cover. The art is done by none other than Transformers Robots in Disguise artist Andrew Griffith. With colors by Rhonda Pattison. So issue 54 here picks pretty much right up where we left off. And Mikey ends up in a headlock thanks to Hun. And the whole first half of this issue is basically Mikey and Hun, or this first section here is Mikey and Hun fighting it out until Hob comes in. And is it just me or does Mikey have like a Titanic kind of pose going on in that final panel right there before it switches? When he's laying on the ground, it looks like he's posing for Leonardo DiCaprio under the ship in the Titanic. Oh my god. So we go back to the Mutanimals. We see them pick up right where they left off, and basically, Mondo says, "No, dude, Mikey took off, went with Hobbs somewhere." And this is what gets Sally talking about. Oh no, if we're supposed to be family, why is he off doing this? Why is he off doing that? Why isn't he including us in it? And he shouldn't have any problem with us showing up unannounced.
Yeah, let's go. Shotgun.
Yeah. Yeah, shotgun. Yeah. We have Agent Winter still monitoring the situation. We then get back to Hobb, Mikey, and Hun. And it's Hun, folks. We've been doing this for 2.5, 3 years now as far as talking about the comics. So if you've heard any of our old episodes, you know the path that Hun has taken. And I wasn't sure how, and I'm still kind of unclear on how Hun fits into the story at this point, outside of him versus Casey. Like, I don't like the Foot Clan's kind of gone good. Shredder's dead. There are really no purple dragon. I haven't seen a purple dragon gang fight.
Well, they stormed the Casey's shop.
Well, yeah, they did, but
they haven't.
That's when Hun was with them. Yeah, that's when Hun was with them. But like right now, as of now, when all of that happened and Hun got away, I wasn't sure what they were going to do with him next. And now they have him with Hobb, and they're doing something no one really knows. And basically, the way Hobb explains it is that he's using Hun to amass weapons and power and whatever else.
Is he bringing the guns to Hun for Hun to use? I couldn't figure it out either, but I haven't.
Yeah, I don't know. Once again, the colors, the backgrounds, the next 2 pages here. There's a point where Hun smacks Hobb, and the smack basically just. It's beautifully drawn, but look at that splash in the background. Look at the pinkish red splash. And then the next one when he's going all crazy with the orange yellow. Oh, Rhonda's so good on the colors. She never not needs to be on this series. She needs to be doing this the rest of her life.
I'd rather not, she says.
So we have a really cool Mikey inside joke of putting Hun on a shelf, quite literally. That was awesome. And this is pretty much just a knockdown, drag-out fight until the Equalizer comes in. Because the Mutanimals show up, and Slash basically comes in and saves Mikey.
Oh, Slash! This was one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, and then Hun basically just punches Slash right in the jaw, and that makes Slash go the way he used to be.
This sounds like a Hulk line to me. So Slash comes in, tries to hit, well, actually bends his arm over Hun, but then Hun freaks out, goes kind of Hulk. I'm gonna waste you two. Smacks him again, headbutts him, kicks him in the stomach. Well, that's over, you hear? It's over. No, Hun. Slash just starting. That's
so a Hulk line.
Yeah, he just comes back and starts beating the snot out of him. But that I enjoy those moments. I get a little geeky when that level 2 strength kind of kicks in.
Level 2? It's more like level 10 with Slash. I wasn't even sure if they were going to be able to get him to stop. So they kind of team up, various, 2-on-2 kind of team member thing, and they do eventually get Slash to calm down.
Well, he's working for us. What?
What?
What are you saying?
And this is where Hobb comes in with his whole monologue of why Hun is working for them. And he's basically saying, "Oh, we need to be prepared for Y3K and all that stuff." And Slash obviously isn't really cool with this because the whole point with Slash is he wants to be free, but he also wants to be. He doesn't want to be a villain. He wants to be a hero, and his view of being a hero and Mikey's view of being a hero are essentially the same thing. You do good. You don't do underhanded things. And this is where that breakdown was coming that I was saying about earlier. That Mikey didn't really join them. He was hanging out with them because, as these next two pages show, Hobb just basically slashes his arm, which I don't know. I like how it looks, and I get that Hobb was mad, but I still don't know why he had to hurt Mikey. That just, I don't know. Basically, Hobb is essentially saying that the snake in the grass was Mikey, not Hun. So what?
I wish Mikey would have had the guts to not kill him, but to take Hobb out of the equation at that point. Snake in the grass. No. Hobb, you're the snake. Nunchuck to the face. I feel bad. But here we go with Mikey not belonging somewhere again, and that really is affecting him.
Yep. And, he says that, he and Slash have this really awesome moment at the end here where he says, I'm going to go back to the old lair, fix it up, make it a bachelor pad kind of thing. You're welcome to join. And Slash, whoever thought Slash could be this emotionally coherent. And I'm not saying the character is generally dumb. Slash is no Bebop and Rocksteady. I mean, Slash is a pretty smart dude, but once again, bringing back to his origins of being trapped in a cage, and he's basically telling Mikey, "I'd just be trading one cage for another," and he appreciates the fact that Mikey offered this to him, but he's not going to take it. We then get a little epilogue scene, and we meet Agent Bishop,
who I did not know until I had to go to the Wikipedia. Somebody said you better pick up issue 54. It's a first appearance issue. You're going to want it. And first appearance of who? And then that guy showed up. And so, Bishop who? But apparently he's from the
2003 series.
2003 series, which I have not seen all the way through. So that's why I hadn't heard of him.
53, or 54, I should say. 54 was an awesome conclusion to that story. Absolutely loved it. I wonder now where this is going to take Mikey and his personal quest. Because I don't think he's going to go back with them right away. I don't think he's going to go back to the Turtles and Splinter right away. So, and at this point, at the end of 50 to now, we're 4.5 issues of Mikey being by himself. And I almost kind of like that because, again, it's showing character development for him. And even though the other Turtles are missing him, what I almost want to see more of is and I know this probably isn't going to happen, but if we see more of the fact of like what we saw in issue 51, where Raph and Mikey kind of have a whole discussion on coming to the foot or not coming, and Raph's like, "Oh, I could make you." He's like, "I know you could, Raph, but you won't." I want to see more. I want to see Mikey and Leo run into each other in a dark alley or something. I want to see if they're going to continue Mikey on this path of being by himself and not being cool with what's going on with the Foot Clan. I want to see more little mini team up kind of things.
Yeah,
what are your
Mikey he should. I think we're out of cool groups to stick him with, but putting him places where he's not going to fit in again, and then getting heartbroken about it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Throughout this entire series, Mikey's always getting heartbroken. Whether it's Woody and the Woody the Pizza Dude, whether it's his mom in Secret of the Foot Clan, whether it's Mikey's always getting his heart broken, and it just kills me. Any other thoughts on 54?
Good issue. Better the second time around still.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, folks, because we need to compose ourselves, because something extremely awesome has happened. So we'll be back after this.
1, 2, 3, 4, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles!
It's action. It's drama. It's comedy. It's Decian, the superhero webcomic. Decian's got superhero antics and sexy girls. Read it now at Decian.com. DASIEN.com.
Well, I am shocked and dismayed. Well, now you can't be both. You be shocked, I'll be dismayed.
Coming in 2016, Steve Megatron and myself, TF2 and Mike, bring you a brand new TV review show. Welcome to Podcaster Meets World. That's right, we're launching a Boy and Girl Meets World review podcast here on the GCRN. It'll take us 70 episodes of the podcast to review all 158 episodes of Boy Meets World. After that, we will tackle Girl Meets World. You can find Podcaster Meets World on GeekCastRadio.com and iTunes starting late summer, early fall 2016. So come on and walk through the world with us.
I love the thing they call.
1, 2, 3, 4, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles!
All right, folks. So, as I've said before, and it's no secret, I am on IDW's media list. Essentially, what this means is I get access to their review copies pretty much 8 days before the comics actually come out. Now, this episode of the Back Issue Classics, episode 49, will actually be released the day TMNT issue number 55 comes out. And I'm just going through and looking through the review copies for the week of February 24th, and I'm like, okay, so here's TMNT 55. I know Joe's going to want that, because I've essentially corrupted Joe at this point. Joe, I know you still read your comic in your car, but since having this service, I essentially corrupt him every month and basically say, hey, here's the file for you if you want to look at it.
And as beautiful as the art is, and the review copies have this watermark on them, so you can't. But yeah. I read it here, and then when I get the issue in my hand, I go, I can put this right in a poly bag now, and I never touch it. I don't even open them, and so yeah, you've corrupted me. But
yeah, so I've corrupted Joe. But this time around, when I was grabbing the review copies, I just grabbed them and sent them to different the different podcasters I podcast with, etc., etc., etc. Didn't really look at anything, didn't really think of anything. All of a sudden,
I text Mike and Mike, did you see the top of the cover? You need to look at the top of the cover.
Yeah, of issue 55. Now I don't know if there. I know for the month for this, I know various IDW covers have quotes on them as of late. I would say in the last the month of February, because I've seen other ones have quotes on them from other websites and stuff. But I was so not expecting this. We are quoted, it's probably something I said most likely. If you have ever been a TMNT fan, you need to check this out. I don't remember if it was you or I that said that, but
it came from our podcast, and that's the cool thing.
Yeah, so if you have ever been a TMNT fan, you need to check this out. Geekcast Radio. Now, I think it's great, absolutely awesome. That they're doing this. The main cover is Alopex and Kitsune with Casey and April in the background. Almost has a Valentine's Day feel to it, because there's a lot of pink stuff floating around.
Those are lotus leaves for Kitsune.
Yeah. So our quote is actually on the three main covers. The one main cover with Alopex and Kitsune. The retail incentive cover with Mikey, Raph, and Leo. I don't know where Donnie is.
Donnie's back there.
Is he?
Yep.
I don't see him. It's
to the left of the eye.
Huh? Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so it's all four turtles, and it looks like they're throwing a manhole cover at somebody. And then the subscription cover, which is the Kevin Eastman cover, also has the quote.
So this might be the first comic book in the history that might actually be worth slightly more money if we put our names on it. I doubt it. I totally doubt it. No, I don't know. The interesting thing about that quote is, like, I see that and, like, oh my God, something one of us said is important. Like, we did this thing. And then the other part of me is like, no, serious face. We're a media organization. This happens all the time. Surely our opinions are well informed and thoughtful. So yes, they would put our quote on there. You're welcome. You're welcome, IDW Comics, for us giving you that quote that you can put on there. Yes, surely. But the geek in me, the guy who grew up reading Ninja Turtles, like something, and I'm taking it's something I said is like us as a podcast. Something I said is on the cover of this comic book. Holy crap! Well, how amazing is that? So it is flattering that IDW.
So awesome.
Somebody at IDW went and pulled that quote somewhere. Somebody listened to the podcast from IDW. So
I've said it. I know I have said that so many times in the past.
Oh yeah.
2.5, 3 years. I know I've said it so many times. So yeah, I mean, it's great. And
And I'm assuming maybe we said it to Bobby at some point, and that was where the quote came from. But thanks to IDW for making an awesome comic, something that a 35-year-old adult can read and say, "Wow, I don't feel like a child for reading this." And thanks IDW for plugging our podcast essentially. Well, not just our podcast, but your entire podcast network.
Yeah, the whole network. Mm-hmm. Well, you can take a little bit of ownership there. I mean, you've been on the show for 2.5, 3 years, so. Regular cover also, is done by Michael Dunlinas as well. Retail incentive is done by Ben Bishop. Subscription by Kevin with colors by Rhonda. And then we have the second of the fun club, because this lists it as a fun club, not a fan club. So I'm wondering if that's a misprint or something, but it says fun. It says Eastman Fun Club Edition. So, and then again, so there are the four main covers, and then we have 3 blind box exclusives.
This is obnoxious. So Blind Box is another subscription service like Loot Crate, but it just does comics. And I think you can buy different levels of a Blind Box subscription to guarantee yourself certain covers. But I just read an interesting article on one of the many websites. I think it was the editor of Image, if not the editor, one of the artists, who says that this multiple cover thing is going to be a part of destroying the industry again, or weakening it, and seeing this happen is obnoxious. It's obnoxious to collectors, and when everybody, I don't know, maybe it's socialist of me, but everybody deserves the right to access the art, and everybody deserves the right to access the story. When you're putting it behind ridiculous paywalls, putting the art behind ridiculous paywalls, it makes it less fun.
But how many people are actually going to go to Blind Box Comics online or wherever the hell the thing is, and actually get that because they want that? Like, for me personally, when I was buying print comics, because I get all the stuff digitally now, when I was buying print comics, like you said, if the cover speaks to, like, for me, the way it was, and I've said this before in the past 4 years of this podcast, I told my comic shop, look, they said that there's going to be subscription covers for it doesn't matter what comic it is, could be anything, could be this, could be Jim, could be Trans, it doesn't matter what it is. If there's a subscription comic and they say that the way to get the subscription comic is to have the title on your pull list or in your pull bag, then you should be getting the subscription. So for me, I felt entitled to the fact of, okay, if I'm going to put this on my list or in my pull bag or whatever you want to call it, you better be getting me that subcover, because that's the whole incentive of having the title on your list. Now, there are some subcovers that I haven't really cared for, or that kind of thing, like you were saying earlier about the whole you just like what whatever image it is. Lately for Turtles, for me, it's pretty much been the main cover.
Yeah,
that I've
I haven't been
enjoyed.
after the subcovers very rarely.
Yeah.
I have my whole box of IDW comics back here. I was looking for other issues, and every once in a while I've got a subcover in there because I liked it more. But I don't know what the collector in me 10 years from now is going to do when I flip through that box. And am I going to need to go back and get those covers? Because I'm a completionist. I have every Ninja Turtle book except for first print #1. But I don't have every cover from IDW, and I have no intention of hunting for them. But so there's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 blind box covers coming, which I won't be getting. But ultimately, I wish, maybe when you buy the trade paperback, when that comes out, it'll have the covers printed in the back.
Oh yeah,
but
absolutely, I wouldn't see why they wouldn't do that. But I mean, that's for someone that is online, that wants that actually wants a comic subscription box thing, like you said, like Loot Crate, or like whatever other nerd block, or whatever other things that they have now. I've never bought into those subscription box things.
No, it's gambling. I don't like gambling.
I would rather just have but I mean, I don't think all the covers, like you're saying, hiding it behind a paywall. I think that's just it's an exclusive. It's something for those really, really diehards. Like you can still go into any comic shop the day this releases, the day this episode comes out. You can still go into any comic shop and get cover A for issue 55. You don't have to go hunting for anything.
You don't have to, but I want
they've sold out. Well, yeah.
And that dude who I told you about, who orders 10 of the books so that he can buy the subscription, he's not paying for all 10. He's letting the other guy sell them, but he's paying to have them shipped to the store. He's gonna do something like that because he has every cover ever.
Yeah.
But
so this issue 55, because it's coming out the same day that this episode is coming out, we're not going to spoil it. We're not going to go all the way through it. We're going to give you the story points, not spoil the story, but give you the main, who's in the issue. But Bobby has said, and I believe Tom has said, that this is a standalone issue. And it's basically picks up, though, where 54 left off, where Mikey said he was going to go back to the lair. So we have him in the lair, and he's remembering all these times. He's remembering when the Turtles were hanging out, playing video games, trying to beat Mikey's score, or when Mikey made something for Splinter for Father's Day. The story also picks up with Angel and Alopex. And Alopex is still being controlled by Kitsune.
I don't know if I'd say controlled yet or influenced. I'm not sure. We aren't sure. The readers aren't sure to the extent that Kitsune is in Alopex's head. But there is definitely something going on, and I can't wait for that to culminate.
Yeah, it's in this part of the story. It basically, Alopex basically says she hasn't slept in days and days and days, and she's had all this stuff in her head and everything else, and she just doesn't know what's really going on. She's kind of out of it, and Angel basically says, "Go home, get some sleep." We then have Casey and April's parents on a double date at something that looks like, let's see, yeah,
it's a pub.
Yeah. All as I'm really, I almost wish it had a different name and it said something about where everyone knows your name.
That was in Boston, wasn't it? That was in Boston.
Yeah, it was in Boston, but still, I mean, yeah. So Casey's pretty much being a douche. He's completely showing attitude and giving lip, and it's still going down the path of him being angry.
He's distant and preoccupied. I think he wants to be out there busting the skulls, and nobody wants him doing that because it's not safe. And It's one of those instances where you have your plan, but the people around you love you and want to take care of you and don't want you to go down that path. But then you're bitter about having to listen to these people who have your best interest in mind. It just causes all sorts of internal conflict.
Yep. Then there's a scene with Alopex and Kitsune.
Mm-hmm.
Where we learn more about Kitsune's control, and basically because this is a standalone issue, I don't mind they did this, even though it does continue the overall story. They're basically catching up any new readers with a giant splash page panel of Alopex in the center and everything that has happened to her in the run of the series since we met her. Since we met her way back when in the one shot and when we got her origin story. I love that giant page.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
So and again, the colors, that muted purple blue.
Yeah, he even the muted kind of red thing on Raph there in the bottom right, just awesome. We have some really cool drawn and colored images on the next page here, where Alopex is leaving Kitsune. And you notice if you scroll in to the bottom middle panel.
Yeah, I just saw that back there.
I know. Well, obviously he's on the bottom right panel, but I never noticed it at first in the middle panel. But basically, Splinter is watching because it's Splinter. He's in charge of the Foot Clan. Yada yada yada, all this, all that. But basically, he's watching Kitsune and watching Alopex go away, and Alopex saying, "So tired." It's probably the first time in 5 issues that Splinter doesn't look like a dog to me.
I'm very glad that Splinter saw this. I don't know how much of it he saw, but I'm glad that he's aware.
Absolutely.
He looks far too concerned in that panel for me. I don't know what exactly he's thinking, but I feel better now that he's aware.
Yep. And we then get to a whole section of Casey and April.
It's a beautifully drawn Volkswagen bus.
Yeah.
I love that panel.
Nod to the old movie van. Yep.
Yeah, if you're a fan of the of Volkswagen buses, you need to buy this issue just for that panel.
You need to buy the issue just for our quote on the cover.
Yeah! I'll sign your book for you. Mail it to me.
I don't know if we could go that far.
If somebody wanted me to, I would, wouldn't you? It's not about the book being more saleable. It's about the emotional connection you have to it. So
I know, but
maybe I'll get 2 covers and sign one.
So we get Casey and April going back and forth with their relationship, and then Casey sees a guy litter, and this sends him into the deepest anger we've seen to this point. We then get a scene over at Burnow Island with the Technodrome, with Fugitoid and Harold on screen, which is nice. And the final 2 panels are just epic.
Yeah, I don't think we should spoil that.
Nope. We're not going to. Not at all. Nope. I will say the top of the second to last panel.
Yep.
I'll say that. Mikey he said at the end of issue 54 he's going to go home and fix up the old layer, and he does. He says not too shabby, but man, I'm starving. Well, then you're in luck, kid. That's all I'm going to say. Because the final 2 panels might be the best panels since 50.
But we can talk about the cover for the next issue.
Yeah, we are actually going to talk about that here in a minute when we talk about the Soul Stations.
That's beautiful.
Yes, it is. Issue 55. Even though Bobby has stated it's a standalone, it doesn't really feel like a standalone.
There's nothing in this series that stands alone. It all interconnects, which is beautiful.
Maybe he meant...
It's not going to relate back to the Turtles, is what it is. By the cover that I'm looking at right now, beautifully colored, probably done entirely by Santaluco. Technodrome's in the very distant background, backlit by the moon, reddish hue. There's water on the bottom 2/3 of the page that's gold that turns into yellow, with Leatherhead with his yellow glowing eyes, doing that alligator thing on the surface of the water. Crocodile. Yeah, he's an alligator. Alligator thing going across the top. Beautiful cover. I'm assuming we're going to get Leatherhead's story in that issue, and in that way it's going to be a standalone thing. But
well, yeah, but I mean, like, compared
of course
to...
it's going to tie in.
Well, yeah, but I mean, compared to 54 and then 55... 55 brings up elements that were left off with 54, but it doesn't really... Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Okay, folks, so really quick, before we get out of here, we're going to go through the solicitations coming up for March, April, and May. In March, we have TMNT Deviations One Shot, written by Tom Waltz, art and cover by Zach Howard. In a world where Shredder leads the Turtles, all hope seems lost. With the Turtles brainwashed to follow Shredder, Splinter forms a new group in a last-ditch effort to save his sons and New York City. 40 pages, $4.99. The bullet points on this one: extra-length one-shot, find out what happens in a world where the Shredder leads the Turtles, a twist on the classic City Fall storyline, part of IDW's Deviation 5-week event. I assume you're going to be checking this out.
Oh, yes.
What do you think of the overall teaser for the solicitation here?
I was going to say, with the covers that we're seeing and the way that they tease them, they're doing like this wonderful golden age thing of look at the cover, wanna buy the book. Yeah. They are nailing that. And I don't think that happens with a lot of other books.
No. So, all right. Also, in March, we have TMNT issue number 56. Waltz, Eastman on writing. Mateus is back on art and covers. The Turtles return to the Technodrome to monitor the revival of the Utroms. They are surprised to meet a new mutant there, Leatherhead. Will the mysterious mutant be friend or foe? Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so bullet points for this one. Fan favorite TMNT artist Mateus Santaluco is back. At long last, introducing fan favorite Leatherhead. Variant cover by Pablo Tunica. Coming up in April, issue 57. Tom Waltz, Kevin Eastman, Mateus also. Leatherhead Part 2. Mysterious intruders bring death and destruction to the new inhabitants of the Technodrome. Does Leatherhead know more than he's letting on? Who can the Turtles trust? Dun, dun, dun. Bullet points for this one. Mutant Murder Mystery, TMNT style.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Part of IDW's Art Appreciation Month promotion. Variant cover by Kevin Eastman. He always does variant covers, so I don't know why that's a surprise. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with him doing them. I mean, for all the guy is the co-creator of the thing. But 56, 57, I can't wait until I eventually have Steve put the main covers of this together. The one you were talking about, the one with Leatherhead in the water with the Technodrome in the back. So I want to have him put that together with the main cover of 57, which is the Turtles and Leatherhead walking through the hall of the Technodrome. And then the final regular cover for 58, which is Leatherhead in the shadows with the Utroms.
There's got to be something with that color scheme. Somebody fell in love with red, orange, pink.
Yep. Absolutely.
Oh, God, that's so good.
Yeah, it is. All right. So we also have coming up, we've got TMNT Volume 1, Shell Unleashed. This is a new trade paperback collecting the first 12 issues of the series. Now, I assume they're doing this to get new readers into the trades, because that's what I assume that they're doing with that. We've got, let's see, what else we got here? Okay, so coming up in May, we have issue 58. And there's something else coming up in May. I don't know what, oh no. I don't know if the cover is in the ones I sent you. I might be, it might not be. But in May, apparently, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Amazing Adventures Carmelo Anthony Special. This is the Amazing Adventures line. This is the other comic thing that they're doing. The Amazing Adventures used to be
the Nickelodeon series run, right?
Yeah. What did it used to be called? Oh God, it was.
It was just Adventures, wasn't it?
Yeah. So anyway, it's the more cartoon thing. So essentially, this is not necessarily something we're going to be covering right away, but the TMNT meet NBA superstar Carmelo Anthony in this oversized special. When Carmelo is captured by the Foot Clan, it will be up to the Turtles to save him.
Gosh, it sounds like an episode of Scooby-Doo.
But after Carmelo is mutated, someone may have to save the Turtles instead. Yeah, you're right. It does sound like an episode of Scooby-Doo. One other thing I want to hit on that I believe is coming in May is the new rerun of Allies and Enemies. Mike Costa, Ben Epstein, Barbara Randall Kessel, Dustin Weaver, Joshua Williamson, all on writing, Mike Henderson, Marley Saccone, Ben Bates on art. The spotlight shines some of the Turtles' best friends and fiercest enemies. These individual stories focus on Casey Jones, April O'Neil, Bebop and Rocksteady, and General Krang in the new Turtles world of the current ongoing series. So again, they're that's why they're re-releasing the trades. Because TMNT 2 releases June 3rd, 2016.
Oh, everybody's going to want it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so issue 58. This is the final solicit here for this podcast. Waltz and Eastman on writing, Mateus on art and covers. Leatherhead Part 3. A violent skirmish between different factions breaks out in the Technodrome. The Turtles will have to make a difficult decision if they are to save the Utrom's race. Bullet points for this one: the conclusion to Leatherhead's debut storyline, variant cover by Paolo Villanelli, I don't know how to say the name. But yeah, so Leatherhead is getting a 3-issue arc storyline.
Which I'm glad. I like the Leatherhead.
Yeah, we all like the Leatherhead. One of the variant covers, which we're not sure why, and maybe I will tweet at Bobby on Twitter and ask him why. One of the variant covers, the art edition cover for issue 57, is Raph as the Mona Lisa. You made the joke earlier about...
Well, Leonardo da Vinci painted the Mona Lisa, so why isn't it Leonardo as Mona Lisa? Yeah. Maybe because he was painting the picture of Raph dressed up as... Mona Lisa. And that's why Raph looks so cranky. Like, you made me do what?
Yeah, that would be funny.
And the art joke here, they even did the thing. Leonardo, the horizon doesn't line up behind Mona Lisa.
Yep.
So they've even included that, which was a nice touch.
Very awesome. All right, folks, we're gonna get out of here. Coming up next, I have no idea. It could be ponies. It could be no clue. I know we're not doing Marvelous March this year. I'm just so out of even knowing what's going on with Marvel at this point, and there's so many other things I'm more interested in at this point. So we are going to have other coverage in March as well. Probably we're going to do the Leatherhead arc all in one, most likely. Depends on what issue 59 and 60 end up being, so we'll have to see what happens with those with Turtles, but that's going to do it for us. Anything you would like to pimp out, sir?
I don't think so yet. We might have a Geek sale second or third week of June, but that's I have not decided yet. We'll figure that out in April. But no. You can come tweet at me anyway, or post on the Facebook page.
No, I was going to say, you don't do Twitter.
No, I don't. I don't tweet me. I have an account somewhere. I
think it's at Joe Reed Geek, I think is what it is.
The oh gosh, the Garage Cast knows, and I think it changed to Joe Reed's Hawaiian shirt. Like they got my password and changed it and started tweeting at this convention from my Hawaiian shirt. He's got his arms folded across his chest. I can't breathe. But anyway, don't tweet at me. Go to the Geek Stuff garage sale Facebook. One word, you can message me there. Or if you get a message to Mike, he'll forward it along, and I'd be happy to reply.
Yep. All right, folks, that's going to do it for us. Make your great escape into comics, and we will catch you next time.
Hey, this is Tom Waltz, IDW's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles writer, and you are listening to the Geekcast Radio Network.
You've just heard the latest episode of The Pullback, the GCRN's comic review and discussion podcast. There are several ways to get in touch with us and leave feedback for the show. You can visit the website, geekcastradio.com, where you can comment on the episode and all of our different podcasts. You can rate our show on iTunes. Be sure to leave us feedback. Call the voicemail line, 502-526-5821. Please remember to tell us the show you were leaving the message for, and your name. Become a fan of us on Facebook by searching Geekcast Radio Network. Send us an email feedback at geekcastradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at Geekcast Radio. So until next time, make your great escape into comics and unleash the geek in you.